We got gloves, we got lube, we got rings and stuff to tighten them. No, we're not doing that. We're replacing the seals on our CVs. We were up in here working the other day, and the outer one is fine, but the inner one, and we get a clear shot of it, was, there you go. The inner one has a nice ring of grease. It's been spraying all over the undercarriage of the car. We had a look at it, and what is it? It's loose. So now we're gonna put a new one on and tighten it up. I've taken the wheel off and it's a lot easier to see now. So what it was, so the inner one is fine, but the outer one here, further back, was so loose, it just wasn't sealing. So I've just popped it off. Now, I'll grab it and show you. I don't know if it's original or not, but that was it. That was it there. So all it took was a little tiny push with the screwdriver, and that was on. So it wasn't really, not wrapped around twice, wasn't really tight at all. Both sides are the same. So I don't know if it's been worked on before and that's what they use, but yeah, we're not putting something that flimsy on this time. Okay, we're probably gonna clean this with enough paper towel to empty a rainforest of wood. We'll try to wipe down a bit of this as we can. It's super sticky, this stuff. Okay, and we need to get in here and see if we have to top up the grease, if any too much is flung out. Okay, it's hard to get a camera in here, but you can see there, I've just popped the boot back and I'll try to move my light better, and you can see it's still got heaps of grease in there, but I'll give it a squirt of some fresh stuff anyway, just to try to fill it up, and then we'll wipe down the little seal at the edge that it sits on. It's gonna be pretty tricky to film all me doing this, but just gonna try to wipe some of that excess off, the old stuff off that edge, because then it'll just slide off again if you don't do that. And try not to, at least it doesn't have a lot of grit or dirt in it, and then I have to strip it all off. But it's pretty clean, the grease in there. Okay, time for some cleaning. I gave it a few good squirts of fresh grease just to kind of top up any of the spray, so I can see some of the stuff up and around there that's been sprayed out of there. So I'm just going to wipe down the boot now. So important to know, this boot wasn't torn. So when I first saw the grease everywhere, my initial thought was, oh, I got a torn boot, axle's out, let's redo it. But no, they're fine. They're very pliable still, and there's no tears in them. Okay, now that that's quite cleaned up, that's seated properly, so we got to get the new strap in that channel there. So I think it's got one or two loops around, and then we've got a special tool that kind of tightens it up, fold it over, and then you cut off the excess, which is pretty cool. Okay, this is the new CV boot ring. It's a lot more substantial than the other one, and it kind of layers over itself, which is pretty cool. So we'll put that on, and this is the tool we use to tighten it and to trim it. So lots of videos on this on YouTube. We'll see how we go with it. You put the strap through here. This is a little cutter, so that goes and snips it off. Pull it straight through there into a slot on this part here, and then once it's in there, we wind it tight. It's supposed to get it snug, but not crazy tight, and then snip it off, and then hammer it down. And you hammer down back over itself, and then hammer down these two little tabs as well. Just tap it in with a little hammer. I don't know how I'm gonna get in there with a hammer, but we'll see. You should be able to get a little hammer in there. Okay, this is the shot through the wheel well looking at it, because I can't film and get my hands in there at the same time. So we'll see how this goes. Now we want to have it wrapped so that the drive doesn't unwind it. Not that it will, I don't think, but that's what you're supposed to do. So then we'll get it started further down the drive shaft where we got lots of room. And we'll go for 2 wraps. So there's one. Oh, maybe not. That's through twice. We'll slide that down now and put it in position. A whole lot of room to work here, but not too bad. Okay, I got it through there twice. And it's in position. See, it's in that groove now. Okay, now let's see if I can get the other hand in here again. Okay, it's hard to see because obviously it's the boot's in the way, but it's in the groove. And I've bent a bit out. And now I'm just gonna pull it by hand and see if I can just tighten it up. Okay, probably best if I don't tighten it up where one of these bolts is for the axle. So I'm gonna get in there and tap it down. It's in the groove all the way around and snug. Okay, now let's try getting in there with our little tightening tool. Just a little bit fiddly to get it all in the little grooves and lines and stuff. You need to get it in channels to tighten it. There we go. Okay, so we get it snug, and then we just start winding it on. What I'll do when it comes time to bend it back, I'll just rotate the axle. And do that by just turning the wheel. Okay, I think that's pretty snug now. Okay, now we need to bend it forward. I'll kind of hold it in position while we give it a crank and use a little cutter arm. Snip it off. There we go. Snipped. Roll it back up. And I think I might have stuffed up. Well, good thing I got a couple of these things because I didn't have it. Okay, so I stuffed up because it isn't completely in the groove of the boot. Great, that's going to be fun. So yeah, you can see there it's kind of like on the edge, a little bit too far on the edge for where it's supposed to be. So I think it's a restart. Anyway, these things are cheap, and I got a couple, which is good because I heard they can be a bit finicky to go the first couple times you try it. So we will cut this off and try it again. I'll put the new one on, same as before, except I've spun the axle a few times around and around and around just to make sure it's all in the right spot. And I pulled it fairly snug, and I'm gonna try to get my hands in there now. Okay, now I'll put the link to this cutter in the descriptions. Just you just get them on Amazon. They're only a couple bucks. I just noticed even setting this up now, I've loosened it up, the strap up, and moved its position.
Winding and then checking the position as we go.
Okay, we are quite tight, and we're going to cut it or bend it and run the snipper thing, little lever, snip it, and we'll just bend it over. It's going to be sharp, careful. Okay, I'm going to spin it around to check it. Good. We are very tight. Good, good, good. All the way around and look. Okay, all good. I'll bend this right down. I'm gonna have to use something to, I'm gonna use a big, I got a straight shot there. I get a big screwdriver and a hammer, and I'll tap it down that way. So it's a bit tricky to see, but if you go right up through here, right at the tip of the screwdriver is where I gotta tap it down. So I'll just rotate the axle so it's in a little bit better position. There we go. I got the hammer. This big long thing. It's soft, so it doesn't need much. Just need to tap it flat. There we go. And then there's little side bits to tap. I'll see if I can get to that. Yes, good. Maybe not that. A big flathead screwdriver would probably get that a little better. Yep, I'll probably just tap that down. The flathead is this way. It's a little bit more secure. The other was a Phillips, and it was kind of sliding there. Okay, that that's folded flat. Now I got these little tabs to bend over as well. I don't know if I can get that one, but I can definitely get this one. Careful now not to tear that boot that isn't already torn, because that would be pretty shit to do that now. I can just do that by hand, don't even need to tap it. Tap this way. See if I can bend the other one over with a little screwdriver to get in here. Yep. It's just fiddly, but not a hard job to do at all. Okay. There we go, right in there. Can't focus, there it is, all folded up. Before, when we would grab the boot, it would spin on the axle, and that's where all the grease was coming out. Now we can get your hand in there. Now you get your hand in there, twist it around. It's not moving, so that will be good. Keep the grease from spraying everywhere and keep those CVs going.